Welcome to an episode of Canopy Practice Success. I'm Casey Brothers with Canopy, and I'm here with Gaynor Meilke, who works with firms and influencers and technology providers in the space, such as Canopy. It's good to be with you, Gaynor.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And so I'm Gaynor Meilke. I've worked with a lot of accounting firms over the years. I started back in, I guess it was in the late 90s at Thomson Reuters, working in their tax and accounting, marketing department, and kind of just built, a real love for accounting firms during that time. And then with accounting firms helping small businesses, I like to do that too. So we always just seem to work really well together. And as I became kind of more and more entrenched in the profession, I eventually went and started my own company, Charisma Inc. And so we serve accounting professionals and their firms, and then technology vendors like Canopy and other players. And then also we work with a lot of thought leaders. So we like to say we bring like the full circle of the accounting profession together.
You are a big people person.
Love people.
I would also argue that accountants are big people.
I would say yes. And it's really interesting because the typical accountant stereotype is that down in the numbers,
right.
We don't like people. And nothing could be further than
right.
the truth for that. And when I talk to people outside of the profession, they're how can you work in accounting all day? And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? There's so many different facets to it. But it really is the people, because accountants are helpers and they love to help people.
Yeah, and the relationship and doing something for people that they can't do. Because accounting can be complex, but being able to solve that problem and provide that through a relationship. I see a lot of accountants finding joy in that.
Oh, definitely. I think that's what drives them to do what they do.
But I would also say that accountants don't have a lot of knowledge in how to help shout from the rooftops, market these efforts, their ability to
solve business problems.
Yeah, and to help people who don't know them, who don't have a relationship, know that they can, that is a relationship, and what that relationship looks like, and the problems that they solve together through that. So how do you help firms approach marketing?
I think what we were just talking about is making them confident about the fact that they have these superpowers that they can use to help people, and then how they can leverage those to tell a story about how they can really, I was just talking about this to a firm not long ago, is they have the power to change the future of somebody's business with the information 100%, that they have.
Yeah.
That's a really powerful message, and just getting comfortable with putting themselves and their firm out there, and that you don't have to, as you said, shout from the rooftops.
Yeah.
Just reaching the right people with your message, and you can do that in different channels. It doesn't have to be on YouTube and being an influencer. You can have an email list. You can go to a networking event. You can do all kinds of different things, but just being confident and being able to tell your own story is really important to firms.
Yeah. So when should an accounting firm get into marketing? If they don't have any marketing efforts at all, is there a tipping point of size or headcount or service type or?
There's no tipping point. No, it's.
That was a fishing question. I knew what the answer would be.
Yeah, from day zero, it's part of business. I once heard the quote that business is just innovation and marketing. So it's being innovative about what you're offering people, and then letting people know that you have that service that can solve their problems. So the other facet of this is that you never stop marketing, and people tend to equate marketing as a expense, especially in accounting, but it's really an investment. And if you're consistent with it and you pick, I always say, pick 2 to 3 things and just do them really well, then you'll start to see dividends come off that for sure.
Would you say those 2 to 3 things vary widely depending on the firm, or would you say that there are some really common 2 to 3 things?
I would say there's really common things that I've seen work. One, obviously social media has become, a channel unto itself, but I don't see firms consistently using like business to business channels when they're trying to target business to business people. So, being on LinkedIn and really leveraging that, I think is like a great thing to do. Having an email list, building that so that you can not just cross-sell to clients or, attract new clients, but just keep in touch and keep on top of compliance issues with your existing clients, because if you take care of those clients, it has that ripple effect of then you're the referral, the referral go-to for them. Yeah. And I would also say a great website, so that when people do find out about you, through different channels, they can come to your website and know exactly what they need to do next to work with you.
I would even go as far to say that not having a website is worse than having a bad website.
Oh, definitely.
Just get in, have a website, figure out how to refine it as you go. But if you're not Googleable, are you there? Yeah. People won't find you. Even terms and trends like accountant near me. The near me is huge, and people use it all the time. And if you're not popping up in those searches, you're missing out.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And that ties back into having a Google My Business, profile that's set up, all of those things. So it's, it can seem overwhelming, but if you put together a plan and it's really just a checklist, marketing should be a process in your firm and not something that we add on later when we have time.
Yeah. So depending on the firm and whether or not a firm has a dedicated marketing individual or marketing team, an easy way, and even with a marketing team, AI can still be a great help because of the nature of what it's able to do right now and how it's using generative content and so on and so forth. How would you recommend firms utilize AI for their marketing?
So I think I'm torn on this, I have to say, because I think it can be very efficient for, sales emails or just process emails, onboarding content, things that, you can create something and maybe just tweak it a little bit. And that's super. Coming up with ideas as well for content. So, doing queries on different topics that might be relevant to your audience. But the thing with the accounting profession that I'm still not 100% sold on AI for generating content that is, targeted on compliance or, technical issues or anything like that, because it's not fact checked. And I think ChatGPT, the database stops at 2021. So it's really not going to be useful. Another thing that I've been getting to the bottom of as well is just now Google's algorithm is also penalizing ChatGPT generated content. Yeah. So you've got to think about what kind of content is this? Is it something that I'm trying to get SEO for? Is it something that my reputation is going to be harmed if it's not correct? Or is it something that's just I need to get this done efficiently, and ChatGPT is great for this, or AI?
For me, ChatGPT, generative AI, has just been a great help in terms of conquering the blank page. Yeah. When I feel I know I need to get something done, but I'm not sure how to start. If I can put something in and even seem that is so wrong.
And then you can correct it.
Yeah, but it gives me a place to start as opposed to having to come up with it on my own.
Yes, no, that's definitely true. And I would also say there's some great video AI apps. So if you want to do video, but you don't want to be in the video, and you can create some things that you can then edit pretty easily, that can be helpful too.
Yeah, whether it's for your clients or for business efforts. Right. Yeah. When it comes to business development, where do you see areas that you think firms could focus on more?
I think definitely working their referral networks.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a statistic that says most firms get 90% of their business from referrals. And so it's not just direct referrals from your clients, but from other firms as well. So really focusing on partnerships and networking. And I know there's all kinds of accountant communities out there. So being part of those is actually really important, especially if a firm is not that comfortable with, a lot of digital marketing and things like that. Just having those strong networks is important.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great call out too about partners. Especially if accountants are being encouraged more and more to find an ideal customer profile, a specific niche. But as you do that, or as you are encouraged to do that, other firms are being encouraged to do the same. And that by just knowing who around you doesn't do what you do, and them knowing that you do what they don't do, what a benefit that is to your marketing as well.
Yeah, and I see that a lot with firms now. It's almost like there's a divide happening between tax firms and then the CAS firms, and they're kind of coming together so that the tax firms, they don't want to do the pre-tax work, and the accounting firms don't want to do the tax work. So they can really form some good partnerships there.
Yeah, get the right people on the bus doing the right tasks, even though maybe there are two buses in a parking lot.
There you go, and they park right side by side, and it's definitely.
Well, any other technologies? AI is a hot topic right now, but particular to marketing efforts that you would say, like, these are solutions that firms really, if you're not utilizing, you need to be utilizing, or maybe it's even time to reevaluate how you utilize this system because it's so crucial.
I would say CRM. Obviously, that's the first touch point that you want to have in your firm. And if you're using an Excel spreadsheet, there's so many. Yes, there are tons of CRMs that you can choose from, an email marketing platform, because this is something that I always tell firms too, is that you don't want to build your platform on social media. You want to have your own presence, for your firm, and that goes back to the website discussion. So if you don't have a website, there's lots of platforms out there that you can get one built relatively inexpensively. A social media scheduling tool, I think that's important too. That can create a lot of efficiency. I mean, the list goes on, but everything from being able to text your clients, and prospects, reminders for appointments and things like that. It's all part of the client experience, and that ties closely to marketing too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it too is meeting your clients where they are. What other technologies are they interacting with that they're now holding that standard to you? Even things like, I've heard it talked about as the Amazon experience, how Amazon upset not just their own market, but the market in general in terms of delivery times, like with 2-day Prime or whatever it may be. You think even with apps, clients are going to be using modern apps like DoorDash or Instagram or whatever. And if they're then having to log into systems that are not as modern or more antiquated, more difficult, are you going to get the behaviors out of them that you're wanting to? And are your marketing efforts going to be reflecting what they really could be if you updated to more modern technologies?
I think that's true from marketing all the way through to the client service piece of it, because if you're still taking in paper forms and all of those things, yet your marketing is over here saying we're a modern firm, that's a disconnect. And again, just to your point, people are a lot more sophisticated. I think especially like this next generation of business owners, they're sophisticated. They're not going to have patience for accounting firms that aren't with their program, right? And because they see accountants as partners, and they know what accountants can do for them, and that's where the whole advisory conversation is starting to take shape too.
Well, thank you, Gaynor.
Oh, thank you. It was a pleasure.